Hi, good evening. Welcome once again to the Gildarie Freddie Kissoon show. Welcome wherever you are. Good night, good morning. It's always such a pleasure coming to you, and this is where, in our room here, we discuss with you issues that are so pertinent to our country, issues that are provoking, issues that are mind bending in some ways, issues that should raise your alarm. And tonight, we have a number of issues which we're going to raise. And of course, it's a people's time. We ever so often, Freddie and I, would open our lines and just hear from our people. They need to have a voice. That's what a good country, a good democracy would dictate, that the people should have their say, whether it's through parliament, whether it's having a voice on camera somehow. And we have social media, which does a lot to raise those concerns. And this is where we also give you folks an avenue, a platform to do so. As always, I would take an opportunity to raise matters which are of concern. I see on the agenda tonight would be issues or matters concerning the public sphere. One would be, of course, which is of much debate, much cause for alarm, and in recent weeks saw the resignation of a minister of minister of local government, Nigel Dharamlall. We saw him resign from Parliament. We saw him also resign as a minister. This was after allegations surfaced via a letter that came out and we're going to have the discussion. That's a sequence of events that led to that. Then the other issue would be the penning of the authoring of a book by former Minister of Natural Resources, Raphael Trotman, former senior official within the Alliance for Change and part of the former administration under APNO FC. He has written a book detailing some of his experience, including how that oil deal went down. And of course, he has released that book in this under this administration, the PPP's administration under President Irfan Ali. What are some of the implications of that book and the timing of it, and does that leave Raphael Trotman in the clear? This, among other things, we are going to have some discussion. Of course, you can have your say. Ground rules, let's make it very clear. Let's keep it respectful. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But let us keep it and remember this program is live. We can be sued, and we don't intend. If we find that you're venturing into areas which we believe that we may be uncomfortable with, and open the doors for it to enter into the legal territory where we could end up before the court, we are going to cut you off. There's not going to be any ifs and buts about that. Let us open the line within the next maybe 20 minutes or so, and you guys are going to have your say. We go until 10 o'clock. Without further ado, I want to say good night to my co-host, Freddie Kissoon. He has his say as well, and he's going to lay the groundwork as to where we're headed tonight. Thank you very much.
Thanks for watching us. As you know, this we're in our 14th month. Just on a light note, when Gildarie talked just now about cutting off people who will get us into libel, maybe we wouldn't cut you off if you agree to the condition that you give us the name of your workplace, your address, and your real name. And if you call in Gildarie's WhatsApp, you give us a photograph so we could show the world that you have been libelous and scurrilous to people that you call about, and so you can receive a libel writ. But don't hide under your mother's dress and call public figures, whether it's Mr. Trotman, whether it's Dharamlall, whether it's Freddie Kissoon. Don't hide under your mother's dress and say scurrilous, derogatory things about people. Either you take the intellectual route and you say Freddie Kissoon is incompetent, Dharamlall should never be a minister, Trotman lied in his book, and you keep it. But if you want to call people names and tell them all kinds of scandalous things, you should come from under your mother's dress. Anyway, the topic this evening for the calling program, we put Dharamlall, Trotman. That's because Trotman said some things in his book that are disturbing, and others. We did, because of space, we didn't want to put forward the others. One of the others is the editor-in-chief of the Star Book News. Now, here is a revelation, and this is what I have spent my entire life. Ladies and gentlemen, and people who are watching this program that are non-Guyanese, I have spent my entire life putting out the perspective that there are so many of us in this society, the past 60 years, 50 years, 40 years, that criticize prominent people, criticize politicians, activists, journalists, and they have no moral right to do that, because they're morally questionable people. And I have spent my entire life doing this. Now, I did what I think was perfect, not the correct thing to do, the perfect thing to do. I invited Dennis Shabal on this program because I think Shabal's online thing, Demerara Waves, does not meet the standard of journalism. I think there's so many questions about that. So I thought he would come here and say, listen, Kissoon, Gildarie, you guys got it wrong. You guys got things in your imagination. No, he declined. I called Nazima Ragubair, a second media operative that has made the news with the recent fraudulent Guyana Press Association election. She declined. She could have come here and said, Kissoon, you as fraudulent as the election you claim. Now let's stop with the third one. Anand Prasad, editor of this Star Book News. Ladies and gentlemen who are out there looking at this program, I have done more than 12 critical articles of the opposition leader. I have said things about his leadership qualities that are not inspiring. I have done some negative analysis of him. Since he became opposition leader, I have done, I repeat, more than 12 columns. I even said that he would not be longer in the PNC leadership. That man came here and defended himself and defended what he believed in. I have written more than 12 articles putting Mr. Vincent Alexander not in an inspiring light in my columns. Mr. Alexander came here and spoke his mind, and he said clearly he thinks that the 2020 election cannot be pronounced definitively with a winner because there were problems with East Coast voting. And he would sit down and debate Attorney General. People come here and defend themselves because this program is widely watched. And you have a right and you have an obligation as a politician, as a minister, as a media operative to come and put yourself in front of the Guyanese people. So I call Anand Prasad, the editor of the Star Book News, like Dennis Shabal, like Nazim Ragubair. He was very brief and he said, I decline. Then he got on his Facebook page and he called me a PPP lapdog. That is the editor-in-chief calling a fellow media practitioner and someone who's an academic and someone with academic and media credentials a PPP lapdog. Now, that term has tremendous implications. What he means by a PPP lapdog is that I write in my columns, I've been doing for 2.5 months, a daily column. It simply means, if you break down, deconstruct the term lapdog, it means I am protecting someone, I'm like a puppy to someone. Obviously, he says PPP. He calls me a PPP lapdog because I tend to write in favor of the current government. What do you call someone then who writes against the government? If I'm a PPP lapdog, follow the logic. Do your logical analysis. Fine, I'm a PPP lapdog because this guy writes in favor of the government. If someone criticizes the government, I'm asking you now, and please call and give me your analysis. That person then has to be an opposition lapdog. Mr. Anand Prasad has established his parameters. When you're pro-government, you're a lapdog for the government. It means, therefore, you have to be a lapdog if you're anti-government for the opposition. So, by a weird psychic logical contortion, Mr. Anand Prasad, the editor of the Starbuck News, has admitted on his Facebook page, in which he calls me a PPP lapdog, that he's an opposition lapdog. So we have two names in the media that are lapdogs, Freddie Kissoon and Anand Prasad. I hope, Mr. Prasad, I hope if you defend Mr. Anand Prasad on his Facebook page, as some people have done, and if you call in tonight and defend him, I would like to know, if I am a PPP lapdog, what Mr. Prasad is. I do my research. Every day I read all the online papers, all the newspapers. I challenged Timothy Jonas when he was a guest on this program. Timothy Jonas, colleague in the opposition party, Anuk said, and he held up his hands like this on the show, he said, let's be honest. Newsroom has not said anything critical of the government in 3 years. And then I held up my hand like this and said to Timothy Jonas, let's be honest. The Starbuck News in 3 years has never said in the editorial anything complimentary of the government. So we have two lapdogs. But there's a difference. There is a difference with the two lapdogs. I will go tomorrow and sit down with Sherrod Duncan and let him interview me. And I will speak my mind, how I feel about Duncan and how I feel about other things. Tomorrow, if you're listening, I will go on a program with David Hines. And I will go on a live program if the Starbuck News and Anand Prasad invite me, and I will analyze the history of the Starbuck News, and I will analyze its poisonous anti-government journalism. I will defend what I write, and I will defend who I am, but I will not back down. I will not back down on any interview. If Dennis Chabal is listening to this, I will go on Dharamlall Waves tomorrow. That's who I am. And you know why I would do that? Not because I'm some big and brave person. I think there are people out there who know me, and they want to hear what I have to say in my defense when Sherrod Duncan is interviewing me or Anand Prasad is interviewing me. I don't have a Facebook page. Lots of people send Anand Prasad posting on his thing calling me a lapdog. And you should see some of the responses you get. Some of the responses is, if you think you're doing the right thing, then go and you and the man sit down and say what you have to say. And there will be thousands and thousands of people looking at the program when Anand Prasad invites me or when I invite Anand Prasad. I think I've said enough. The line should be opened up shortly. And just tell me how you feel about me being a PPP lapdog. If you feel that way, fine. I would not. For 55 years in the public view, people have said everything but me. In this life, in my life of 55 years in politics, people have said everything about me except two. I've never heard those two, that I'm a homosexual and that I stole money. No one ever accused me of stealing anything from UG. Of course, I stole books when I was 16 years, and I'm proud of that. It made me a better person. But I would take anything you say about me. David Hines came here and said, "Man, shut up. You're like a parrot." I didn't get annoyed. If you think I'm a PPP lapdog, fine. But debate me. I think I've said enough. I don't know if the lines have opened up. But
in a very short while. I happen to really like your short, Freddie Kissoon. I think I have something similar to that. Tonight I learned a couple of words and I'm going to throw in a couple of words. So lapdog is one of them. Second one is Jankalai. You know what that is?
Jankilal? I grew up in Hindu family. My mother was... So I know
you ever call that?
I know what Jankilal. I probably was called that. No, the word Jankilal, but maybe the English equivalent. But now it's a new one. In 2023, I've been in activism for 55 years, and I don't think anyone has ever called me a lapdog.
All right. Well, so let's analyze it very quickly.
I don't like to use derogatory terms about animals. I just have an obsession with dogs. So he's been insulting to dogs.
Well, you know what you have to do. Ladies and gentlemen, Nigel Dharamlall. Accusations came, man decided to go, or at least that's his official story that's coming out. He indicated that he wants to go on leave, administrative leave, went on leave. Subsequently, what came out to be an investigation, matter was sent to the DPP. The DPP came back, and then the girl says, the alleged victim says, I don't want to pursue this matter anymore. Subsequently, but 2 days back, she came out with a statement, a video statement, which says, never had sex with Nigel Dharamlall. Where does that leave us? I think as of today, person, Ms. Kunya, I think it is, was sworn in as a parliamentarian replacing Mr. Dharamlall. As to whether it's possible for him to go back into the position of a minister, we don't know that as yet. What are the possibilities here? What we do know is that he extended his resignation. What we do know, social media is a very powerful thing in this country. What we do know that our constitution, like any other country of this world, and so many other countries, the constitution has one thing which is very consistent. Person or persons within that country are guaranteed they're innocent until proven guilty. They have to go through due process for them to be able to either condemned or be released from that system if they're going to be prosecuted. In this particular case, the jury is out there as to what really transpired. The country seemed to be mystified as to how this girl, the alleged victim, would have been allowed. I have a serious problem with that because as a victim, I don't believe that anybody should be subjected, and she's going to be subjected to a lot of ridicule, a lot of condemnation. I don't think she should have been exposed to that. I think it could have been handled differently. However, she has come out, and the world knows her face now. There's a face, and she says there's a face attached to that allegation. We're going to stop here right now, and we're going to say that the lines are open, 231-2982, and then, of course, you could call us on let us see, there's a call also here. Good evening, caller.
Hi, good evening, sir.
Yes, go right ahead.
Hi, I'm so Freddie, and I'm actually surprised, Fred, that you have get sucked into to people like Sherrod Duncan and David Hines. I mean, I know that your responses to Anand Prasad is merited, but Freddie, you are much. I mean, you're someone who I look up to, and to allow yourself to get sucked into people like David Hines and Sherrod Duncan, I'm a little surprised. As far as I'm concerned, the only thing Anand Prasad from Starbuck News would have done is when he spoke out, and mildly he did it in the 2020 elections, and he did mildly. He didn't came out boldly and spoke about the rigging of the election. Once again, I'm a little surprised, Freddie. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So it's 231-2982. Let's get those calls very short and sweet, and that's how we want it. And then you could also call us on 1071. We hope to hear from you. Let us talk. The topics on the table is Raphael Trotman in his book, talking about the role that he would have played and how he perceived it. And of course, Niger and Dharamlall. And then of course, Freddie would have also raised a matter in which he called a number of people, media workers, and what would have said, and he would have responded. Let's see that. Good evening, caller.
Good night, Mr. Freddie.
Good.
I'm Mr. Gildarie.
Good night.
Good night, sir. How are you?
Pretty good. Go ahead.
This is the guy from Zealot News scheme with his mechanic who I told you about. This thing still continuing. I already speak to the president already. I speak to everybody, and the same thing. This gets worse. Gets worse out of hand. You know? It's what it's telling me to do.
Well, I don't know. This matter is really angering me, and this aside from the topics that we have here today.
It's angering me because Mr. Pazram from EPA, he never answered me phone. I can tell you about these people.
All right, you would have raised it. We want to talk about Niger Dharamlall, but in essence, if you guys are looking and you don't understand what happened, the man complained to EPA, and we're going to ask EPA to appear on this program. In fact, we're reaching out to them right now. His next door neighbor is spraying, washing, and EPA went down there. In fact, the head of EPA, Mr. Pazram, went down there. It seems as if the people as soon as EPA back turn, people continued, and this man says it
but then what they have to
problem.
do, we have calls and off the line people been calling us. When they do this after the EPA is gone and they do this 2 or 3 times, have an edict shutting them down.
But I don't understand. This has to do with the role of our authorities, our regulators in this country. Are the regulators working? Because if you put plenty laws in place, put a regulator, and the regulator not doing the job, you have the Public Procurement Commission, you have EPA, you have GNS.
If they do it when Mr. Pazram is gone, Mr. Pazram don't know. But if you tell Mr. Pazram, your people came 3 times and they're still doing it, then it's time to shut them down. But the system is broken.
The man says it's still continuing.
Then it's time to shut. So
I don't know. All right, Chief, you know what you got to do. We're going to raise this matter again. I presume you will continue to reach out to EPA.
Every time EPA come and gone, they're doing the same thing.
Yes, 231-2982 and 637-1071. You could WhatsApp call us if you're overseas. A good night to our folks overseas. I have the thousands of them tuned in to us, listening to us. You could also get us on YouTube and on TBN Daybreak News there.
No, but, I will stop if there's a call, but I think the EPA has to know that when they go down there, when they leave, it's like noise nuisance. As soon as the police come, the decibels go way down, and when the police gone, it go up. Well, so when you go down back there, stop them, close them down.
But 2 things which would be of the interest, and folks, talk shops are not good enough in this country. The police within the last couple of days, I think up to today, continue. Just a minute, caller. Just 1 second. The police had 2 items on the agenda which they discussed. And 1, the traffic situation in Guyana. And secondly, they were discussing noise nuisance. It's a big thing. How does the police react? How do they deal with situations like that? We would love to have the police here so we could be able to hear from them how they intend to tackle 2 of the biggest issues facing people that you don't see happening overseas on that level. Good evening, caller. Go right ahead.
Good evening, sir. Freddie. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
This lapdog business. When you look at this lapdog business and this talking, you see that those that sing this thing saw you carry yourself low, and that is Sheriff Duncan and Yarosep. They saw you so. Now, let's go to the 19th death at Madia, and let's go to the ground sexual allegation against Mr. Dharamlall. What you had to say about that is issue you're supposed to be speaking about. You with me?
Go right ahead. You're making a point. Go right ahead.
That is what the public is looking to you. You are with us, Freddie. I was with you at Buxton. Me, you. Ramjetan and his wife alone. As he's saying, you were fighting oppression. Now you with the oppressor. Now there is where the lockdown start coming. So you have to give and take.
You finish?
Integrity.
Tell me when you finish. Are you
You are a
finished?
man of morality, love.
Tell me when you finish.
Okay.
All right. You
You
have.
must accept. You never said look on things is going on
Saul.
in this country.
Saul.
Look on the lies being telling.
I'm not getting you very clearly.
Saul. You finished? You asked me some questions. You finish?
Yeah, go ahead. You're bullying me, man. You talk because you're controlling my man.
No, well, okay. We're supposed to let you talk all the time. There's no time. There's no time limit. There's no time limit. There's no time
No,
limit.
Chief, you got to make your point very. Hello. We gonna. No. What is the point, Chief?
I got his point. His point is
that's what you want to say. Very quickly, sir. Go right
I
ahead.
want you to understand this statement, and you're supposed to be speaking on this statement. In Guyana, there's an indissoluble union between a magnanimous policy and the rewards of public prosperity and felicity.
And what?
Things they are expected to stay on.
okay. Fine.
Go
Thanks.
ahead.
I will off. When you hang up, I will answer the gist of your
I will
comment.
do that now.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Go right
All
ahead,
right.
Freddie.
I don't want to take up but essentially what he's saying, he described my life and how I fought for justice.
don't waste
And then he
time on
said,
that.
and now he said, I'm with the oppressors. The problem with that is who he sees as oppressor. I don't. If he thinks that the present government of Guyana is oppressive, I certainly don't. I don't see this government being big and bad and locking up people and arresting people and denying them their rights. So I'm unapologetic in saying I support the Orphan Ali presidency. I am unapologetic in saying when this government becomes oppressive and dictatorial, then I will use my voice. I do not see it as an oppressive government and a dictatorial government. And I would not allow anyone to use my past to say, you have changed. I haven't changed. The dynamics and the dialectics of my country have changed. And I support the direction my country is going into. If I see things that are wrong, I will speak about it. I do not believe, and I said it here on the program, the budget, the increase in the budget for public assistance, I did not agree with. I do not agree with the government going on small people's parapet, picking up their dog food and say they're blocking the parapet, and there are very rich people blocking the parapets too. So when there are things that I feel are not right, I will speak up against it. But I will unapologetically say I don't subscribe to the nonsense that I am with the oppressor. I know who are the oppressors. There are people outside of government oppressing people. In business, in the private media, in civil society, that are disrespectful of people, their race, their culture. That is oppression too. Anyway, I think.
But I also heard him say that we should not. I think if I'm getting the gist of what he was saying, is that we don't waste time too much on this lapdog issue. You have two big issues on the table. You have
no, he didn't say that. He was saying because of who I am now, the lapdog comment is justified. That's what he said.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
But he didn't say Anand Prasad is a lapdog too.
Good evening, caller.
Good night.
Good night. Go right ahead.
Yes, I listen to you mentioned nice things And so we are affected by it as false. I would have contacted the police many times. They come and these people leave. Then they will put it on again. I call them again. I don't know why they don't shut them down. To be honest, it's like 4 to 10 times.
Well, let me suggest. Let me suggest. They got a very good commander on the East Coast there, Mr. Pyasram. I had to call him recently on an incident. I happen to know that if you guys have, I presume everybody around there or most people get the smartphones. When the police come, just say this is at 10:15 p.m. Officer Paul and Officer Rodriguez came to the scene, and this is 10:15. As soon as they leave, this is what happened. You guys could do that. Put it out on social media or you send it to the commander. I'm sure we start getting some action. But imagine 2 officers come and the people then decide to disrespect them and you put that on social media. You'll see some action very quickly. Very, very quickly. And said this guy here that live in his house, Freddie Kissoon, is playing his music. As soon as the police comes up, turn it on. And turn it up and back as soon as you get that. You'll get that action. You will get action. Especially Freddie Kissoon doing it. All right?
Okay.
Yes. Thank you very much for that. Freddie, and that is, you know, one of the big problem that we have here, this is not, I believe this is a feeling of many Guyanese. We would leave our country and go to other countries and very quickly toe the line. We would not bribe a cop. We would not even attempt to think about that. We throw garbage into the garbage bin. You're going to separate the garbage and throw it into the garbage because that's what's required in the state of New York and Queens and about other places. You do so many other things. Yet in Guyana, you would stay in a line and vote. Your wife vote Democrat, you vote Republican. But because of the fact that you vote in another race, it means I've got to stop talking to you, Freddie Kissoon. We don't have tolerance in this country. We're not mature. Good evening, caller.
Hi, good evening, Leonard.
Yes, good evening.
Mr. Trotman has written a book which seems to be the topic, both on your program as well as probably in social media and the public. A lot of people can't afford to buy that book. Is it possible to have one in the media houses, publicized probably in segments, like a serial, so that the public more aware of the issues that is
copyright issues? I'm not sure. That would have to be coming from copyright extends to photocopying something and selling it. I don't think you can be charged if your friend gave you a copy of the book and you went over in your neighbor's photocopy machine and photocopy it. Copyright is making money off of other people's job, other people's work. But the book is only 55 pages. The book is 185 pages, but it's only 50 pages.
The 50 pages.
Yes, 50 pages, so you could easily photocopy the 50 pages and read. Only 50 pages is devoted to his describing his role in government. The other pages are minutes of the...
My point is that a lot of people in the public, I'm not too sure, but if I'm sure the price is over $4,000.
The price is $5,000. I paid $5,000.
Exactly. So, the problem is how many people can afford to buy that.
Well, if you call me on your cell, on my cell, I would photocopy the 50 pages to you. That is not an infringement of copyright rule. That is me photocopying some pages from a book so you can read. That is not a violation of the law. My cell phone is...
I have your email address ready.
Pardon me?
I think I have your email address.
Okay. Right, email me, tell me where we meet. We can meet and I'll photocopy it for you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming through, sir. Bye-bye. Good evening, caller. Hello. I think we missed that. Come on, let's get those calls. We're talking here about Nigel Dharamlall. We're talking here about Raphael Trotman and his book and any other topic.
We're talking about Starbuck editor calling me a PvP lapdog.
Yes, and Freddie Kissoon, aka Lapdog, and sorry, my apologies.
That's been insulting to dogs.
Yes,
dogs are very special.
He has a good
people
love for dogs. Let's see what happened here. Good evening, caller. Hello.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Go right ahead.
That guy that is hotting up Freddie Kissoon's head is civic. That guy is on Bench Cup radio, Bench Cup program all the time. that guy he's got a kick. He's living in Madhya. He lives in Madhya.
Oh, it's all right. This country, we got to be tolerant.
He has a right. He has a right to
he
say
express
what to
himself.
say. I can defend myself.
Yeah.
Always on bench cup radio, talking bad about the government. He's being charged right now. He's in court, I think. But I think he was living somewhere on the East Coast where Jack Dio's house is, and I think he got put out of there or something like that. And that's the beef that he has with the government.
That's all right. Everybody got a beef with somebody or the other. What is important is that our country should have that kind of tolerance. Right. Let's have that tolerance.
When you go in the kitchen, you must feel the heat. I'm a public figure.
Freddie could defend himself.
I can defend myself. I've been doing it over...
Don't worry with him.
No, I don't worry with the thousands of people that have criticized me over the past decades, so it's all right.
Freddie's criticized himself too.
I criticize myself too.
Thank you very much for coming through there.
Okay, good. Thanks. I'm good.
Yes, let's have those calls. 231-2982, or you can get us on 637-1071. Let us talk about the issues, two current issues that is dominating the news right now. And that is Raphael Trotman and his book, talking about his role with the oil deal, 2016, and of course, more recently, the big one, resignation of a minister, Dharamlall, and subsequently with the alleged victim coming out and said, I had no sex with the minister. Good evening, caller.
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Gildarie.
Yes.
And Mr. Kissoon. Just a couple of statements I want to make. I'm a lapdog, Freddie, so don't feel like you're alone. I'm a lapdog. I'm a black guy. I was in the tabulation room at the Arthur Chung Center when the votes were being counted. And as I called out and told folks what I saw and told them the APNU lost, I was considered to be a traitor. But frankly, it's what I saw. It was a fact. It was a reality. And since then, many of them don't speak to me no more because they thought I did something to the election. But what I want to get to is the Dharamlall situation. The rule of law in Guyana. I lived in Guyana 2019, 2020, 2021, and I returned back to the United States. The rule of law in Guyana was one that is, as I stand from a distance and look back in, is very deceptive. Let me give an example. My dad was a senior superintendent of police at CID in Guyana for like 30-something years. And for example, when the police did the interrogation of this gal, let's put her aside, I'm not here to criticize her. They must have done it via audio and video. Okay? She made statements. And even if she changed those statements later, the state can still or should still be able to take action against her. Okay, well, fraudulently making or uttering a statement that wasn't true, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But that's an action of the state, not of Dharamlall or not of she trying to prosecute him. And what that will do is induce a prosecution to determine then whether or not there was witness tampering in the back, why there's a change in process. And we know what happens in Guyana. You knock a guy down with a bicycle and you pay him $5 million, he's dead, but his family ticket and is gone and no prosecution occurs. That happens all the time. I am disappointed in the fact that we seem to lose track of the fact that it's not just about who's right and who's wrong, but what is the rule of law. Something was committed. Somebody committed a crime here, or else this wouldn't be blown up in the media as it is.
No, well, here the issue that you have there, and this is, I think people are missing this point. For 3 weeks, the system, something played out, and at the end of it, the girl, the alleged victim, says that I did not have sex. I don't want to do this matter anymore. I did not have sex with this man. The man resigned. Where does that leave the government who accepted his resignation?
But there's
well, I understand, Gildarie. Here's a point though. in initial interviewing with the police, they had to have taken statements from her at that time. And most of that would be either audio recorded or video recorded. Okay? And that information could be used against her and against Dharamlall also.
No, but
so the state needs. I'm sorry.
You're missing a point. In her comprehensive account of what happened, that initial statement that hit social media and was all over the place, she has said that she did not alter it or give permission for the grammar. So initially then, there was a condemnation. No, I withdraw the word. Initially then, there was an accusation against the minister, and there was an accuser who is saying the accusation I did not compose. Who did this? Somebody composed an accusation and did a wrong to me. That, I think, has complicated the problem.
But here you have another problem. The girl said I did not have sex with that man. I did not write that statement. I did not write that statement. So the question remains, what did the police listen to from that girl, and what did they send to the DPP?
Exactly.
So what did you send to the DPP? The girl said I never had sex.
No, this is subsequent to the investigation is finished and everything.
Yeah, but what if you listen to...
I can only speculate. I have a little inside knowledge, but I don't want to get involved in why the DPP sent back the thing to the police is because the girl was saying that thing that is in the social media, I did not compose it. We can only speculate of what she told the police.
No, but you have a distinctive thing, and this is so. I did not compose a letter. It did not happen. If you say that to the police, what are you sending to the DPP? There's no case. You make a decision, you send it away.
The police, the DPP asked for more details.
Yes, the DPP. But what did the police listen to? Because at that point in time, does the police have the jurisdiction to say, this thing does not make sense? You are saying that did not happen. What am I saying?
No, the police couldn't do that. If the police had done that, the police would have been murdered. If the police had taken the girl's statement, this country soil, you just said, what happened to you? If that girl had given a statement to the police, and the police say, no man, this is no basis of prosecution, and it ended there, you know what would have happened?
All right, but here's the other thing. Might I propose then that, might I propose then that there could be two victims in this particular case? A minister resign, and then this girl, a little 16-year-old girl that is out there.
Let the gentleman have his say. Go on, sir. Go on for another minute. You have another minute. Go on.
Gildarie, I appreciate your enthusiasm, and I think you're reading between the lines. This situation merits looking very closely at our judicial system, but more or less our rule of law, because the state needs to start taking responsibility for prosecuting actions against people, so that we can always feel empowered that either the state will represent you or a prosecutor will represent you. Because I know, I shouldn't say I know, but I will be willing to answer, because nobody's above the law. Even Donald Trump right now is getting prosecuted in America. Nobody's above the law.
And I agree with you.
I will be willing to understand exactly what the initial meeting was between her and the police, and what she said to them then, not later, then, and what was recorded, documented, or videoed versus what she's saying now. I would like to see that. But in Guyana, there's so much secrecy around those things, you never get visibility.
No, but you can't.
Nobody knows.
No, but you can't see that. How could anybody see that? That's a violation of the. That's a violation of. No, are you saying? Excuse me, sir. Are you saying that that conversation, it's called interrogation in police terms. That interrogation of the young lady and the police should be made public? Are you
public most places in the world?
No.
Except Guyana.
No, sorry, that's not so.
I'm not familiar with that. I'm not familiar with that.
That is not so.
I'll tell you,
that is not so.
Most places in the world.
No, Gildarie.
Inquiry from the public.
No, Gildarie.
I think from state to state in the US they have different laws.
No,
Gildarie.
You cannot have access.
But regardless what happened, I think we need to do some research. But at the end of the day, solid points. I think what has me going is that the fact for about a couple of weeks this country was held at a standstill literally over this event. They took this girl here, the police took this girl to the man's house, to the minister's house, to go back to the scene. And so something would have had to be in the file or what she would have said. But if I'm saying to you, if this girl said to the police from the inception, it did not happen, I did not write that statement, then why did they hold the girl for 3 weeks in custody?
Exactly.
You know, so a lot of things are not added up.
They held her for 3 weeks in custody.
Well, in protective custody, to make sure that she's protected, and a lot of things that's happened in there. But all right, thanks a lot, there, sir, for coming through.
Thank you.
Very good points.
No, but one of the
it is really
until we get another call.
Yeah.
One of the things he said there is crazy.
But I don't.
No one should have access to what to the interview the police give with an accused. That's opening the floodgates, man.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Good evening, caller. Go right ahead.
Yes, good evening. Not to shy away from the topic, but I find the last caller has made some valid points, also you and Freddie, but we need to have, like, I would say that somebody from an authority of law enforcement or a lawyer there to clarify some of these issues with how the system works. Will you agree with me?
Are you saying that this case is to be discussed publicly, the police investigation, including all those statements? Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm saying that we should have representation from maybe a lawyer and a senior police on the show to give clarity.
We could talk about police procedures and things like that.
We can't have them. We can't have them come on the show and discuss confidential police matters.
No. He's saying that.
Confidential matter about how our system works. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. These things people need to be educated. I think what is fundamental, what is important at the end of the day, let us all understand this is a very basic fact. A man could commit a murder, but he's entitled to a fair trial under the laws that is afforded under Guyana and so many other parts of the world. And we have to assume that he is innocent until proven guilty. That is fundamental. Thank you very much for coming through.
Okay.
Bye. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Mr. Freddie and Gildarie. I'm just calling concerning the same case with this kid. So I was looking to Duncan. I like to look everyone what it's saying. So I see he posted a video, the girl reads that how she's sorry. So then he play a voice note. But the voice note, if you listen it carefully, it's not the same person speaking on the video. Like, I think they faked the voice note. Someone else set up the minister, and unfortunately, I'm sorry for him.
Well, so many things is wrong here. A girl that is in high school is before the world. That's one. A minister has resigned. We don't know what played out. The country remains in the dark. What we do know is that our system is broken, very much broken. And that we've put ourselves on trial here. Maybe it's a good experience that we should learn from, but is there going to be a replay? Is there going to be so many drama? This for a small country. One plane turned back because of one man calling a flight attendant, a waiter. So all these things are very, very, we look at it.
There's something else in this country. There's something else in this country we have not given widespread publicity to. That's because it involved a judge. But do you know Justice Kissoon's decision that unless Exxon sign an unlimited insurance guarantee, Exxon would have had to cease operations in Guyana?
They couldn't get forward.
That decision that decision
Yeah,
is so
on the
far-reaching
decision.
that
And I know
one of the largest.
I work at that building. The lady don't go for no nonsense. She do a lot to restore. I do construction on the building just before it's burned down.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about? What are you talking about?
What are you talking about, lady and burn down building? What are you talking about, sir?
I think you're mixing up something else. No.
Her name. Remember, she said the case was thrown after she found no merit into it.
No. There's two different things we talking. We talking about the Exxon matter with the EPA.
But he went back to the Dharamlall case. But what? Thanks for coming through, sir. But what?
Thank you for coming through.
What I wanted to say while he was on the line is that Justice Kissoon's decision is very, very far-reaching.
We'll have to. I got it.
Well, it's appeal.
Yeah, right. Good evening, caller.
Hello.
Yes, go right ahead.
Hello.
Yes, go right ahead.
Yeah. Yes, Mr. Gildarie. Mr. Gildarie, Mr. Freddie, good night.
Good night.
This young lady put out the statement say, Dharamlall raped she. Right? She put out a statement public said Dharamlall raped she. And she's drawing back now and said that the man doing nothing.
No, she is saying that I did not put out any statement.
Not you.
So,
she
the
said
young lady is.
The
young lady said
she did not put out any statement.
So,
real Nancy story.
Let it happen.
Well, they said the charge now for making wrong allegation against Dharamlall.
I think the options open to the former minister.
Yeah, because it make no sense at all. Like you put out the statement and you're drawing it back now, and they're already there.
No. She claimed in her statement the last statement, that bit the statement. I did not authorize any statement out there. I did not sign any statement. I did not make those statements.
Anyway.
This saying, I should say they get charged.
All right, sir.
Got you very much. Thank you very much, brother. All right, good. Bye-bye.
And the girl look like a free girl to you.
No. Let's be respectful. Let's be respectful. Yeah, my brother. I hear you.
By the way, good. Have a good night.
Yeah, man. Bye-bye.
Good. Yeah, respect.
Yeah, bye-bye.
There's something I need to tell the viewers just before, with all these calls, we missed it. I have given dozens and dozens of interviews in my lifetime, and there's never been an interview in my personal life. And I did a 1-hour interview on my personal life with the Guyana Chronicle. It will be viewed, it will be shown at 6 p.m. on the Facebook page of the Guyana Chronicle, in which I open up about my personal life for 1 hour. So 6 p.m. on Sunday on Guyana Chronicle Facebook page. I was interviewed by the Chronicle, and the interview is about my life, my personal life, very personal details. So just in case you want to see that, it's 6 p.m. the Chronicle Facebook page.
Good evening, caller.
Good evening, sir. I have an issue, not to shy away from the topic. Some taxis at Demico. I caught taxi the other day, a private car. Front screen tinted, all cars tinted dark. So I asked the guy, I said, is this legal here? Guys, see the police with the tint on the television. And they said, no, you just give it a raise and everything is okay. And I said, well, yes, this country is in trouble.
Yes, there's a lot of things. I saw in front of my vehicle, the police standing in front of the road there, one guy with helmet, the other one without. But I make a U-turn in front of the police. I could only smile. Vehicles made a U-turn. And I could tell you so many stories, and you and I could talk about what is so broken in the system.
But what I think, right, should happen is that what happens really, when things like these happen, everybody say, oh, the government is lax, the government isn't doing anything, and it falls back on the government. And when things is enforced, people cry foul the other side.
You want me to tell you something, man? Let me open my mouth and talk. I'm afraid let me just shut my mouth. All right, thank you very much. I hear what you're saying. It's part and parcel of so many things that's wrong with our system, sir.
I think you should give I'm the traffic chief of the program, sir. I think you should.
We have reached out several times to the police traffic department.
Several times, more than I've spoken to him.
I'm going to go back again and ask him to come.
Several times.
Oh, thank you. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much, sir. 231-2982, and you could also call us on 637-1071. Let us continue the talks. I'm liking the calls that we're getting tonight. We have some different views, Freddie Kissoon. And back, let's see, there's a call coming in. Good evening, caller. Hello? Hello? I don't think they're ready yet. Good evening, caller.
Hey, good evening. I wanted to talk about the Dharamlall issue. That girl went to a station in her area where Chevron took her statement. It was signed by her and her parents. So what happened to that statement? Why did she make a statement if something was not right? Why did Dharamlall choose to go and leave and then resign if he knew he didn't do something?
Well, the other thing, and those are some good points, I didn't know that. What is what is interesting is that she has now come out and that's thrown a spanner in the works. I never had sex with that man. And she told the police were at the point of the CID investigation that, and the other people from Blossom.
I'm not sure if anyone paid keen attention, but when she was reading that stuff was written there. She didn't, it was not a free speech. Somebody maybe wrote it for her, and I can be really wrong. And Uncle Freddie, I think what all the viewers are saying is that you are so much better than those people, and if they want to call you a lapdog, that is okay. Ignore them. You are so much better than that, and don't go to that level to match up with them. It's not worth it.
Thank you very much, caller.
Okay, bye.
Good evening, caller.
Hi, good evening.
Yes, go right ahead.
Yes, so I was calling concerning Dharamlall's story.
Sure.
So now we actually, as Guyana, should actually get transparency with his problem.
Get what?
I mean,
we should what?
Hello?
Yeah, we didn't get you clear there.
Transparency. I mean, they should put it in light. Every Guyana should know exactly what is the truth. If he did it or he didn't do it. Never mind she recants her story or whatever. They should able to, if they were taking an investigation and then they said charge him or whatever it was that they said that he did it. Right?
But how do you do that? So how do you do that? The young lady comes out and says, I did not put out any statement. Then she says, I never had sex with that man.
But when they decide to accuse him of this, whatever they said he did, because I was rooting for him, I said to myself, I don't think he did it. But my problem, what I'm trying to find out is, if they say that this whole story burst out to make a big headline. Now, if the police was investigating, shouldn't they have videos, and shouldn't they have a written statement of the person that's accusing him?
I don't know what I have. What I do know, I don't know what went into Niger and Dharamlall head, knowing that he did not commit that thing to resign. I don't know. He said that this thing is telling on him is stressful and whatever it is. At least that's what we see coming out officially. What I do know, and it seems as if people got different pieces of information. One media commentator or one media, one social media personality said that the girl was speaking to her, or at least that is what is being bandied out there, and that there's a voice recording. We don't know if that person's voice is the same person as the one who made the last statement. I don't know that. There probably have to be some authentication or something.
Right. So whoever, let's say, they was following up with this voice recorder, and then, let's say they tried to get the person who says the statement at that time. If the person had come forward and said, no, they didn't make that video, why did they pursue the problem?
Well, if the police call, look, so let's go back, and I think we need to understand this. A statement came out. It was picked up. The girl came and went to the police. however they went, whether with her mother or whatever it is, the police started investigation. That file went to the DPP. The DPP sent it back, and then it went back to the DPP.
Listen, what I think...
That was the sequence of events.
Listen what I think happened here from the beginning. And this is where Guyana is susceptible to mob rule, where a certain section of the society feel they're so powerful and so influential that they can shape events. This thing first started with a statement by the young lady, a purported, alleged statement by the young lady. A certain well-known citizen showed Gildarie and I the statement on his phone, what this girl was saying. From the beginning, this thing went wrong when the girl said, I did not say those things. I did not pen those statements. And I know for a fact that in that statement, an extraneous person that hates the government and aligned with the opposition was part of the composition of the original statement that was floating all over social media. This thing...
And what about the other statement that other girl accused him, I believe, they're a hacker, I forgot her name exactly.
No, don't call names here, please. Don't do that. Are you suggesting that another incident that has to do...
If the girl announced her name...
Yeah, you didn't see the article that she wrote?
She spoke about another lady. Which one are you talking about?
No. I'm talking about, I saw the article, I read it, but I was still trying to figure out if this girl was me. But this girl accused him a while back.
But look. Let me don't get lost in the thing. Let's look at it from the legal side. I am no lawyer, but I would want to think logically. Forget all that transpired, everything that happened. Girl, the accused person is saying, I don't want to pursue the matter.
No, I understand, but I'm saying, what about the other person who was accusing him also saying that he harassed her a while back? Another girl.
That matter was a complaint? Also? That matter went to the police?
I don't know if it ever went, or I'm not sure.
No, we're talking about a police matter that came to the fore within the last couple of weeks.
She wrote her name and everything. She's from Essequibo and is a powerful person's daughter. Accuse him.
And she's living right here now, and that was.
She living
overseas. I think she's living overseas. I forgot if
and she gave her name.
But I have that article.
Where is this article?
Is it an article that happened last year?
1 second, I could get it to you because it was sent to me, also from somebody else.
And this you say is the daughter of a prominent person at Essequibo, and she gave her real name. Okay.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So at the end of the day, what is it? What is it that you want to say here? In addition to that.
No, but I'm saying is okay. If these people is accusing him, shouldn't they get to the bottom and then let it be transparent? Meaning not to hide it or whatever. Just bring it up and let everybody know exactly if he's wrong or he's not wrong.
Well, that is where it was going. It would become a police.
Especially
she's talking about that girl.
And it make him more guilty. Everybody thinks, okay, well, he is probably guilty. Make him resign, because if he wasn't guilty, he would have said, well, I need to take a leave instead of resign.
Well, and that is the puzzling part. There's so many pieces of this puzzle that really, and for 2 weeks our country, and at the end of the day, this girl came out with a statement that was, had me speechless. I couldn't say anything, because how do you say that I did not have sex, but you were before the police a couple of days being grilled by them, and you're saying I did not have anything, that man did not. So what the police were grilling her about 2-3 days?
Right, well, that's why a lot of people is kind of puzzled, because, I mean, still trying to figure out what makes sense, especially him resigning. It's like he's telling, when he resigned, it's like he tells us he's guilty.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you very much. I think you've raised some points here. Other side of the story, we don't know. What we do know is that the minister's resigned. A schoolgirl, still in school, has come out and put her face to the story here. Where does that leave the country? that is what we have here. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Good evening, caller. Hello.
Hi, hello?
Yes, go right ahead.
You have to tune down your volume. You're listening to the program.
Okay. Freddie Gildarie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to say you guys are doing a fantastic job. And I'm sure you heard of the song, If Loving You Is Wrong, I Don't Want to Be Right.
Freddie would know that very well.
And I would say tonight, if reporting the truth is wrong, Freddie, you shouldn't want to be right. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you very much, sir. Good evening, caller.
Oh, good evening, panel, Mr. Gildarie and Mr. Kissoon. Good evening, sir.
Yes. Good night.
Yes. My contribution is twofold. On the young lady, as well as Mr. Trotman. I think that there should be an investigation open up on the young lady last statement, as well as Raphael Trotman's book, because they're actually synonymous. The young lady waited until the demise of the minister. Then she came forward with a statement. Just like Raphael Trotman, he waited until 3 years, then came out with a book to tell this nation what went on with Exxon.
And we're not sure he's being truthful too.
So we don't know if the young lady is being truthful too.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I am not no friend of the minister. I have no connection. I don't even know the minister. I probably haven't seen him. But you wait until the demise of the minister, until the world and all the diplomatic organizations saw the demise of this minister. I'm no friend of the government.
I don't think there's an issue on the table. I think what I'm more concerned with as a citizen of Guyana
Are you
is
not concerned about that, man?
No.
It's actually
I'm more concerned as to whether due process is allowed.
Waited until
No. I'm concerned whether there's due process. Whether due process has been allowed to wend its way in this Guyana's the path that we do it, because what due process? Hold on. I come out. What's your name, sir? Let's call you David, for instance. And I come out and say you're a damn thief. You went and you stole from that. And it goes straight to the police. And it goes on and it goes that way, or it's dropped there. If that did not happen, and from day one you're being judged, the people come out and said, yes, I saw somebody who looked like him. At the end of the day, you know what that does, what a devastation does to your thing. And then it comes out, well, I made a mistake. It's not David. If that due process is not being followed at the beginning, from the first step to the second step, at this point in time, the lady, according to what she said in the statement there, this young lady, I did not have sex with that man. That would have been said to the police at the inception.
This is why I want to say to you, sir, we need to.
There's some little points you're missing, but anyway.
Very quickly, both of the young lady and both of Raphael Trotman's book. And then I just want to touch on Freddie's what he was trying to say about Justice Kissoon. I mean, which probably will leave for another. But I think Justice Kissoon is a man of integrity. His name will go down in history in this country as well as the Caribbean, and far-reaching. Just like Freddie's trying to say, how Exxon is huge. His name will go down because he has the cojones. He has the cojones to stand up. Integrity, that is why he is a judge at that age. Integrity, honesty, and principle. That is the driving force, sir.
No.
Good evening, sir, and have a pleasant evening. Thank you very much.
I was just saying that the decision he made, if it wasn't appealed and a stay wasn't given, Exxon operation had to come to an end.
Yes, it was that. I read that somewhere too, and I guess we'd have to get some people to talk about it. I don't understand it much, but that's
I
what
understand it very much.
Good evening, caller.
I wrote about it.
Good evening.
Good evening. Go right ahead.
Yeah, I calling from Trinidad, right?
Yes.
I am a guy. But, since we're growing up, Uncle Freddie, and he always, we got to really respect for him, right? But judging from this, me I'm a neutral person, I'm an East Indian, and judging from this program, right? Me vote all my life before me come Trinidad for PPP, and me feel that at that time me make the right decision, right? And me like the President Ali equally as President Deputy, right? But one thing, one notice about this program, and me calling for David Hines was in interview the last time. I don't know, maybe a month, 2 months ago. And since then, me calling. What me notice, right? With Leonard, you, no problem. But with Uncle Freddie, when he asks a question, he don't wait for people answer the question. That one thing. And me still primary school drop out. And me could observe it. So what me want Uncle Freddie to do in future, if he can, when he asks a question, will give the people chance to answer. It doesn't. It shows that a little biasness. You notice it with the behind. Notice it with this Indian fellow who are the opposition man.
All right. So in essence, what you're saying there is that Freddie Kissoon does not allow. Freddie, you want to respond very quickly?
No, the guy. No, he should be allowed to have a say. No, sir, I don't agree that I do that all the time. And I have seen
three cases that we know. The three cases that we know, it was David Hines and this opposition man the other day, and me was disappointed that you didn't ask the opposition leader hard questions.
Look, let me reply by saying this. You will have one person that says you did the right thing, you treated Mr. Norton courteously, you showed him respect. You will have another person that say you didn't go after the man. You didn't go after the man, you should have gone out. So listen, at the end of the day...
You didn't go after the man. You went after David Hines and you went after
but that is the nature. So, but you're saying that I must have... If you listen to you carefully, and when this program is over, play it back. You're saying that I must have one approach or one standard for every interviewer. For every interviewee. We interview different people with different background, with different controversies. When you're dealing with somebody very controversial, there's always going to be a back and forth. If you listen to any interview with Donald Trump, you will see the interviewer tend to intercept because Mr. Trump says things that are patently untrue. So I can't accept you saying to me that I did this with. You go.
Just one point. Just allow me one point.
Right.
What happened? Hello?
All right. I think I made my point. You go on and then.
Yeah, very quickly. Yeah, very quickly, sir.
Allow me one point. The thing is, when you ask a question and then the person starts to talk, and then you start to talk, it sounds like an argument. We're not hearing the person either understanding you. So just if you could get like a time, like a clock, and you ask a question, you give them this amount of time to talk, and then you.
All right, sir.
All right, got you very clearly. Thank you very much. We will continue to take that. Good. All right. It is. We have about 50 minutes here. It is 231-2982, and we could also hear from you. Let's see. There's a call coming in. Good evening, caller. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, go right ahead. Could you lower the volume of what you're listening to, please?
Yeah. My contribution is, I agree with the guy who just called. Freddie, when he asks a question, demand a reply to that question, suddenly will come up with something and try to distract the man. But I hear he says he do an interview with Crackle. I want to show the last 25 years was against the PPP. But now, like, get old and can't make it now, so you have to join it.
What's wrong with that? Let me ask a question. Let Freddie don't answer. What is wrong with somebody switching sides? You want me to name you several people who have switched sides? Or they decided it is a constitutional right? What is wrong with that?
No, listen.
But he is an analyst.
Listen.
He believes that the party in power is
Gildarie, we open this phone.
When you start into politics, hear me.
Let the man have a say and then let's move on.
No. You have the right.
Let's move on.
The PPP, I am 60. The PPP party is just like what Dharamlall do there. When he went in parliament, you know talk about the dildo? What is a dildo?
So
that's the PP. The PPP is just like a dildo. When they want support, they want to vote, then they know the people.
All right, good.
All right.
Good night.
Thanks.
Good night. Thank you very much.
Yeah, she mentioned the interview, and you can see it. It's in the Chronicle Facebook page.
Good evening, caller.
6 o'clock tomorrow. Just a minute.
Good evening, gentlemen. With regards to this Dharamlall thing, what I find intriguing, I'm not saying anyone is right or wrong, or anyone is lying.
We don't know, right? I don't know.
We all don't know. We all don't. What I find interesting is that this girl made a video statement 24 hours before Dharamlall's replacement in Parliament was named. There is something just not kind of kosher there.
But it didn't make sense because a lady, I think Ms. Kunza, was sworn in. So I'm not sure whether there's any connections.
No. I'm just said I find it kind of intriguing that
people raise that point. People raise that point, but I don't know because Ms. Kunza was sworn in to replace him as a parliamentarian.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, she had like a week before she said she doesn't want to proceed any further with it, right? A week between then and now. And yesterday when she made what she says her final statement, next thing she may be making, now let me see. Okay, all right, just what I find intriguing. In any case, Freddie, don't pay attention to those people who give misinformed opinion, all right?
Listen. Everybody have their say. Everybody can love you, and that's life. So I just take it in my stride.
Thank you very much.
Man, I love you. Okay, bye.
Thank you very much. And for the records, Freddie's a squirrel with himself. So let me tell you that. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, Ella. You're coming back again. Mr. Civic for real. Freddie know me. Anyway, Freddie.
No, but you can't take up the call like that very quickly. You can't do that, man.
Yeah, you saw Freddie sanction there. Like he got LLB.
LLB, what's that? Like before wicket? LBW, okay. All right, very quickly. What's the point?
He came on
before. The point I'm trying to make, he behaved like he got LLB over just 52.
All right, bro. All right, I hear you. Thank you very much for coming through. Bye-bye. All right, buddy. Thank you. All right, good evening, caller.
Good evening. In concern with Mr. Dharamlall, I think the girl come out and explain her side, and I think Mr. Dharamlall should sue the people them, and the girl should sue the people them. That's my contribution.
Well, you open a whole can of worms there. That is something I believe the legal folks would have to wade into, because I believe he has some remedies. Now the girl is saying, I didn't have anything to do with that, man. It sounds almost like Bill Clinton.
Exactly.
That was a thought that ran through my mind. And sorry, it sounds a little cold, but guess what? A man who, for all legal purposes, there's no criminal charges against him. He's not going to court. And the alleged victim is saying, I didn't have anything. Whether it was coerced or whatever is the case may be, where does that leave Dharamlall? And then the other thing which has me really, really worried is that the parents were not around this girl, and this girl was allowed to make a statement. Why wasn't a statement issued? I'm not sure whether there's something good for her. Where does that leave her with regards to her future? Where does that leave her with regards to her classmates? I got issues with that. Serious. I have a daughter, and I can't. This thing has bothered me so much. But thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Good evening, caller.
Hello, good night, Freddie.
Yes.
Good night, you read the girl opening statement, which you say, who in the right mind will make a statement like this and put it in the public for know how the guy these people stay?
I read that, and we know that girl, I know from my journalistic contacts, that girl did not pen that statement that originally was circulating, the statement that someone showed Gildarie and I on his smartphone.
Right, no one said, the girl said, who in the right mind will pen a statement like that and put it in the public for know how the guy these people stay? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for coming through the caller. Good evening, caller. Good evening, caller. Hello. Hello. Apparently they're not ready yet. You got to be very ready.
Let me tell the viewers, I have done an interview with the Chronicle. It will be broadcast on the Chronicle Facebook page at 6 o'clock on Sunday, in which I was asked about my personal life, and I open up about my personal life since I was small growing up. 6 o'clock Sunday night, Chronicle Facebook page. The only interview I did in which I discussed my personal life.
Thank you very much, Freddie. Good evening, caller.
Good night.
Good night.
Go to Dharamlall story, 2 polygraph tests and everything got done.
Alright, that's short and sweet, man. You ain't beating around the bush.
Polygraph test and every story done. Nobody's got to do nothing more.
Have a drink with me later, man. Thank you very much.
How you know the man is drink? Excuse me, sir. Do you drink?
Coffee.
You gone off the line, sir?
Yeah.
Do you drink?
No, I don't drink. Stop drinking.
Oh, well, then you got to have an ice cream with me, man.
So you don't drink coffee neither? You think about rum?
Context is everything.
Context is everything.
Context is everything.
No.
When people say
don't make those conclusions. You should go to court or something. Oh, yeah. Freddie like jumped to conclusion. He's quiet with himself, Leffy. All right, thank you for coming through there, caller. Yes. Been informed just about 5 minutes remaining. Freddie Kissoon, while we await those calls to come through. Okay, one come through. Let's go right there. Hello?
Trotman get left out.
No, people didn't talk about
I guess the reason why
because this is not only that too, but this thing is really for 2 weeks. I mean, there's so many pieces. So many pieces to this story here. So many pieces to the story here, Freddie Kissoon, and the questions about the justice system, question about the protection of an alleged victim. Our minister was involved. It has to rivet the country. Good evening, caller.
Good night. Like the rape kit heading for a COI or what? Thank you.
Go ahead. All right. Good evening, caller. Hello. Apparently they're not ready yet. Let's see very quickly. Good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Yes, go right ahead.
Mr. Freddie knows that I've sent him an email waiting on a reply from him to hear what he thinks about it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Sent me an email about what? Oh, he probably won't. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I haven't got a smartphone.
Good evening, caller.
Hi, good night.
Good night.
Yes, Gildarie. This one is in regard to Trotman, but how can you choose your neighbor hashtag or someone? Huh?
No, go ahead. Make a point.
Yeah, how can you? I'm stealing a line from Freddie. How can you accuse, not directed to Freddie, but I'm just using his line. How can you accuse someone, hashtag ExxonMobil, of stealing chicken when you are stealing coal? Hashtag 80 million. Thank you.
Do you want to answer that?
I don't understand. He said he's quoting me. How can you accuse someone of stealing chickens when you're stealing ducks? There's no context to it.
You don't understand?
I don't understand it, no. He quoted something I said. He then should have put it in context. But when you open his line, look, anyway. Hello. Look, there's a call here.
Good evening, caller.
Hi, good evening. What I would like to say, and it's my view, right? Being a politician, this is concerning the Dharamlall scenario. When you become a politician, you have to look up, you have to be, you got to have respect. You look for what he's in because you have to carry yourself in a certain way, and this is my view, right? You have to act in a certain way, and once you don't act that way, how can you get respect? You look for what he's in.
Are you saying, we're talking this one particular incident here? Are you saying, are you connecting it with some other incidents, or what are you saying? I'm trying to get it.
I'm speaking in general. Once you're a politician and you take these positions, and, simply Parliament, I listen to Parliament, you have to conduct yourself at a certain level, or else we're not going to get anywhere. Nobody will have respect for you.
Well, he did take a lot of lashes for that dildo comment that he made in Parliament. I don't think
that young lady with something on the net.
Right. And I agree with you. In public office,
General, once you're in public office, you need to, have a certain level so people look up to you.
No, absolutely. Even Freddie Kissoon and myself, we can't just do as we please. We sit here, we talk about things, we have to carry ourselves. So when you're in the public's eye, you have to show respect for the people of this country. And I keep saying it over and over. If we want to be a better country, we want to be a first world country, our attitude have to change. It has to change, rather.
I agree with you. And from the girl's side, I'm just my view. What I read in the press, I don't know how it's true or not, but was there a medical done when this whole scenario?
We don't know all of that. All of that hasn't come out and we don't know. So many things is unknown here. What we do know, the girl said, no case, I'm not proceeding forward. And that's weird.
No, but the caller need to know that she allegedly complained about something that happened in December.
Exactly.
And that statement that hit the internet only came out 3 weeks ago.
Along the way.
The statement that something happened with her in Dharamlall, she said was in December.
No. She was talking... She's saying that a statement with detail, all those things that sparked the investigation, I did not pen it.
No, I am saying that statement that she said she did not pen was about an incident she said that she allegedly said that occurred in December. The lady's talking about a medical examination.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it could not have been a medical examination.
But let's assume for arguments. I think we're out of time. Thank you very much for coming through there, right? Thank you very much for coming through, ma'am. We're out of time. But Freddie, just quickly in your closing thing, let's assume that something happened. A medical examination for something that happened in December would be applicable to this case?
No, after December, no.
No, I don't understand. What I'm talking, there's a case here that sparked from an allegation, and I'm looking at strictly. I don't endorse the Dharamlall. I don't know him. I never had a drink with him. I'm talking about the rule of law, what is legal and what is not, and for the little knowledge that I have. A complaint was made, or at least something that happened. A man went on leave. He's a minister. He's not an ordinary citizen. He's somebody. He's in Parliament as a lawmaker. And then police investigation, what's supposed to be, and then the girl says, well, it never happened. At what point in time did she tell the police that? Did she now decide that it didn't happen? Or did she say to the police from the inception it didn't happen? Why did they go to the house? Was it something that she said? So many things are unknown. But over to you in the closing, and let's go.
But it's nothing to close, just to say that I will definitely... the lady just calling to say you got to carry yourself well. The editor-in-chief of one of the leading newspapers in Guyana, Mr. Aran Prasad, put on his Facebook page that I'm a PPP lapdog. Well, I don't know how the editor-in-chief could refer to a columnist in a newspaper and an academic like that. But this is a story about respect in Guyana. So,
what was the word I told you a couple of weeks back? Not Jankalai, the other one. The other one.
What you told me about?
Yeah. We had an Indian word that I was singing, and it just slipped me.
Namakaran?
No, Rand. No. Freddie Kissoon. No, Jankala is another one. But whatever is the case, ladies and gentlemen, Freddie Kissoon there. It's been an interesting night, and I kind of like the conversation tonight. We had a very mature conversation, back and forth with our people. Fortunately, I've been informed that our time is up. I wish we could have gone another hour, but that means Freddie will have to stay out a little later. I hope that you guys enjoy the weekend. I pray that we remain safe on our roadways. Every single day I see expensive car, $2-3 million car in accidents, and I want to smile, but at the same time, I know a lot of those folks don't know better. They can't take care on the roadways because I don't know how they got the license, and it pains me. We have to be responsible. We have to love our country. We have to take care of our property as well as others. And if you don't feel it in your pocket, well, you ain't going to learn. And many people feeling it. Many people are ending up on the wrong side of the hospital, which is in the mortuary. Let us be smart as we move this country forward. Wherever you are, thank you for joining Freddie Kissoon and myself tonight. We're going to be back with you on Monday. I hope that you have enjoyed tonight's program as always. We look here to provoke some thoughts and as well as to get you thinking. With the intentions to better this country. It's a beautiful country. Good night to you.